Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to give a prologue of the case. Rahul, aged 12, studying in Standard 6, and Anshuman, aged 15, studying in Standard 10, are neighbors and study in the same school. They are good friends and often play with each other. On 7th of July 2022, Rahul was passing by the school corridor and saw Anshuman getting scolded by his teacher for not completing his homework. During the lunch break, Rahul went to Anshuman's class and tried to make fun of him, but got caught by his teacher and was sent back to his class. Later in the evening, while playing, Rahul told the incident of Anshuman getting scolded to all his other friends, and Anshuman, on watching everyone making fun of him, got angry and pushed Rahul in the compound, and due to which Rahul fell and he temporarily broke his arm. Both the parents became furious and started blaming each other. As the school got to know about this incident, called both the parents as the initial incident took place in the school, suggested to sort it out, and the school suggested to sort it out of the court as both are minors, and court proceedings could affect their mental health and well-being. Both of them agreed and opted for a mediation session. As the parties in dispute are minors, their legal representative would take part in mediation, that is Rahul's father, uh, Mr. Ashok Khandelwal, and Anshuman's mother, Mrs. Lata Jaiswal. Let's see if this mediation session becomes truthful to them or not. Hello, good morning. Please have your seats. Welcome to your mediation. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sonia Behra, and you can call me Sonia. I hope it's okay to address you as Mr. Ashok and Mrs. Lata.
Yes.
Yes.
Does anyone of you have any time or other limitations we should be aware of?
No.
No.
Thank you for reaching out to mediators for help in resolving your situation. This is a voluntary process. If this process is not meeting your needs, you may leave at any time. If you have been ordered here, you are required to negotiate in good faith. Mediation respects the settlement of all the information that you voice here. Nothing you say will leave this room. Also consider that you have designated time on your schedule to be at this mediation, and for most it's costing significant sums of money and time. So I encourage you to use this time to the fullest extent possible. Let me remind you that I have no power and I cannot make any decision in your matter. I wear only one hat here, and that's a mediator, an individual who assists parties in the negotiations. I am entitled to be neutral to assist you in this mediation. Another important thing to be mentioned, as parties involved in this dispute are both minors. The legal representatives would address their issue, as minors do not have the capacity to make prudent decisions. May I proceed as your mediator?
Yes, sure.
Yes.
And before starting mediation, I want to make sure of a few statements. Do you have the capacity to conduct good faith negotiations, make decisions for yourself, as well as sign the agreement if you reach one?
Yes.
Yes.
Additionally, you have agreed that you will not call me as a witness in the court in this matter if it does not settle.
Yes.
It is important to follow simple rules. Do not insult each other, do not get personal, and actively cooperate. The mediator's fees are rupees 5,000 per day and rupees 500 per hour for time spent beyond 4 p.m. On the account of the mediator's fee, disbursements and administrative cost will be shared equally by the parents. That is 50% each. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's start without wasting a second. So shall we start with you, Mr. Ashok?
Yeah, I would like to start first. Since my kid is the one who got injured due to the misbehavior of another kid. My name is Ashok Khandelwal. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. I'm Rahul's father. He's just 12 years old and he's currently stunned.
Thank you, Mr. Ashok. What about you, Mrs. Lata?
Good morning, Miss Sonia. I am Lata Jaiswal, Anshuman's mother. My child is currently studying in 10th standard and is 15-year-old. I am a housewife and his father has an international business of exports and imports, so he is mostly outside the country.
Thank you, Mrs. Lata. Now we shall proceed to the second stage of the mediation process. Let's start with Mr. Ashok first. I would like to know further on how the dispute began. Could you explain?
Sure. Thank you. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm profoundly angry and disheartened looking at the condition of my case. The dispute arose between Rahul and Anshuman. They were good friends and used to play together. On the evening of 7th July, I was at home, so I took Rahul to play with the kids. They were playing and laughing, and Anshuman was also there. I was sitting at a distance and suddenly saw that Anshuman was pushing Rahul, and he fell so badly that he started crying. And I went near them. Before I could ask anything, I felt that I should take my kid to the hospital and get him treated. I rushed to the hospital, and after examinations, the doctor told me that he has broken his arm and it would take at least a month to recover.
Okay, if I understand correctly, Mr. Ashok, your kid got injured and broke his arm, and he was pushed by Anshuman while playing. Is it true,
Yes.
Mrs. Lata?
No, I beg to differ, ma'am. Mr. Ashok is not revealing the whole scenario, as it was his kid who made fun of Anshuman to the extent that in the fit of the rage, he pushed Rahul, not intending to hurt or cause such an injury, but he fell in such a manner as he broke his arm.
All right, Mr. Ashok and Mrs. Lata. So after we have understood the situation, I think we should now move on to the next stage, which is to form the agenda. Let's address the issue. So here we have issue number one. Who is responsible for the bodily injury caused to Rahul? Issue number two. Is Rahul at fault for instigating a fight between him and Anshuman? Issue number three. How the compensation should be proceeded with. So, with regards to these issues, do you have any suggestions, Mr. Ashok? How about we start with you?
Yes, Miss Sonia. First of all, let's clear the fact that my kid broke his arm due to the ill-mannered kid Anshuma. And whatever the reason might be, Rahul suffered an injury which is irreversible, and he's in constant pain due to that. It's do have fun with each other. Sometimes it's okay to make fun of each other, which is not a serious issue. But as a father, I'm helpless, and the one causing injury is also a minor. But for this sole reason, the responsibility cannot be escaped. I want Anshuman parents to take full responsibility and pay for the medical expenses and hire a home tutor since he is suffering a loss of his studies.
Mr. Ashok, I would like to interrupt you, but please refrain yourself from using harsh words and try to calm down. So, what are you trying to suggest is that Anshuman's parents should take full responsibility of the medical expenses and should provide him with a home tutor,
Yes.
is what has been said by Mr. Ashok. Agreeable to you, Mrs. Lata?
Thank you, Miss Sonia. The things said by Mr. Ashok are not at all acceptable, as he is the only taking side one-sided. I understand what a parent must be going on through if the child got injured, but think about my kid also. He was also humiliated in front of other kids. Not once, ma'am. Rahul had tried to humiliate him twice. Only the first time he was caught by teacher, my kid was made fun and was his mental peace got disturbed. I want an apology letter from Rahul and his parents for such an unacceptable behavior.
Apology letter? No way. Making fun does not give him an option to push my kid and get him injured. I cannot continue with this joint session now. He's so adamant, and I cannot control this and tolerate this.
Okay, hold on. Please be calm, everyone. I think there is a contradiction here. So, Mr. Ashok suggested that medical expenses and home tutor would work best for the bodily injury caused to their kid, while Mrs. Lata said otherwise and claimed that her kid suffered mental harm and was humiliated and they should get a written apology letter. Other than this issue, do you have anything else to add?
No.
Nothing from my side too.
As suggested by Mr. Ashok, he is not able to continue with this joint session. In this case, private caucus session would be very fruitful, where we will have one-to-one interaction with both of you. Do you both agree to this?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm. Okay, sure. Ms. Lata, please, can you please wait outside? I'm having a caucus session with Mr. Ashok first.
Yes, sure.
All right. Private caucus session with Mr. Ashok would begin now. All right. I'm aware that things aren't going so well in this session right now. It appears that Mrs. Latta is unable to reach an agreement on Mr. Ashok's proposed solution. Is there anything that is bothering you, Mr. Ashok? Something you wanted to tell me privately today? Because in the session, you can express yourself and say whatever you want without Mrs. Latta's presence. We can keep this as a secret from Mrs. Latta unless you want it to be disclosed.
Yes, ma'am. Honestly, I'm in great pain watching my kid in pain, and my wife and I both have been suffering a lot. He hasn't slept for a week, and at the same time, he's missing out in his studies, which is making him anxious. My kid is a bright student, and on a second thought, I think kids do make mistakes, and he might have made fun of Anshuman, and he could not tolerate it. It should be understood that Anshuman is older than my kid, and he should have make him understand that making fun of whatever he said is not a good thing. I feel like whatever was destined to happen has happened now. My kid should get the compensation he deserves, and if it is agreed, then I will be amenable to the idea of submitting an apology letter.
I understand your concern, Mr. Ashok. Is there anything else you would like to discuss?
No, ma'am, that would be it.
Okay, then thank you, Mr. Ashok. Please wait outside. I'll call you shortly.
Okay.
Now, private caucus session with Mrs. Lata would begin. Okay, Ms. Lata, sorry to keep you waiting. Now you can share with us what is on your mind. Is there something that is bothering you? Please be rest assured that this session is confidential between us, so you can express any feelings and dissatisfaction you have.
I'm a mother, ma'am. I do understand Rahul's pain and his parents' concern. If it would have been my kid, I would have acted the same way. On the other hand, my kid is in his growing years, and as a kid grow, they become more conscious about their surroundings, and a small fun could affect them a lot. That's why he must have taken that step. I do feel sorry for that what had happened to Rahul due to my kid. I agree to his proposal only if I get the assurance that such thing would not happen in future at any cost.
All right, Mr. Ashok and Mrs. Lata, private session is now over and we'll move on to a joint session. Based on our previous sessions, we have already gone through your concerns and we find that both of you already are ready to negotiate as both of you are parents and feel sympathy towards each other's kids.
Yes. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Lata, as discussed during the private session with Ms. Sonia, I think I'm able to reach a solution to settle the dispute. Kindly listen to me first before you comment about anything. Firstly, I would like to thank you for willing to go for this mediation. As adults, we should not blame each other's kids and sort it out like real adults and come to a prudent conclusion. Thus, I would like to clarify again that I agreed for the solution to issue an apology letter, specifying such behavior would not happen in future. Second, I think you should be more considerate and respect my suggestion to cover all the medical expenses and appointment of home tutor. As you know, my kid is a bright student and leaving studies for a period of 1 month would not be acceptable to me. Lastly, I hope this idea is acceptable to you. I also seek apology from Mr. Lata because at some point I got really aggressive and use words which are not acceptable. I should be wiser in communicating what I feel so that she would understand why I objected to her suggestion.
Thank you, Mr. Ashok. Mrs. Lata, do you agree with this suggestion?
Yes, I'm sorry for being too emotional earlier. I also don't have any objection to your suggestion, Mr. Ashok. If I may add, I believe cooperation and communication is the key when both the kids have suffered loss and are at fault. If one wants to solve an issue and voice out their suggestions, the other party must be more considerate and understanding. I believe you are a great person since you managed to understand my concern as well, and we came to a fruitful outcome.
So both of you have agreed to all the terms that both of you proposed to each other. I would like to confirm again with both the parties. Is there anything else that any of you would like to add?
Nothing, ma'am. I accept all the suggestions. I'm ready to move forward.
I think I am fine with the suggested solutions.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you to both of you for working together to find a mutual solution. Before ending the session, I would like to ask both of you to sign the agreement as proof that a settlement has been reached. In this agreement, we have included all the terms that were agreed today. Mr. Ashok and Mrs. Lata, when you both sign the agreement, you need to comply with all the conditions. This applies to both of you. In the later event, either party breaches any term in this agreement, the aggrieved party may sue the defaulting party for breach of the agreement. All right.
Okay, I would like to thank Ms. Sonia again for guiding us through this session today. I will submit the apology letter within 4 days.
Uh, Thank you so much, Mr. Ashok, for your cooperation and understanding. I hope that we will always become friends and good neighbors and forget about the dispute that has ever happened between us. I'm so sorry for the any unprofessional behavior on my part, if any. I promise it will not happen again and it will not ruin the friendship of our children.
Thank you once again, Mr. Ashok and Mrs. Lata, for the tremendous efforts and cooperation. I would like to remind you again, if any party breaches the mediation agreement, the defaulting party may be sued. With that, we shall rest our mediation session, and thank you both of you.
Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you.